what are you talking about? There's evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out the two of you deliberately lied, giving your testimonies, obviously you would be charged for perjury. Perjury. And since this is a murder trial, you will also be deemed complicit in the killing. Complicit in murder? No! I love the reactions. No, negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders. That's right. As the man says, just say you never saw the gentlewoman. And that what told us. Oh. What? What did you say? Gorgeous to son? Oh, no. You were just following orders? Hold on, lad. I was, say you never saw the gentlewoman? When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with the lady from overseas?
Objection!
Jackson! What's the meaning of all of this? Witness gave false statements? Is that true? You pale? Just one. Just one simple the tongue. Order, counselor. Explain what's going on here. Painfully clear now. You try to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. Christian knows nothing of this. Then who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouth shut? That's classified. Look at the baby. You're prepared to be tried as a conspirator to this murder, are you? You wouldn't. This can't be happening. Okay. Judging from the way they were reacting to this, I say they were sworn to silence by someone with considerable influence. However, I don't believe it's hurt you. I had an idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence, there's only a handful of possibilities. Don't have been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. And we know who's a police officer. Well, any idea about who might be behind this? If we confirm that who tried to sign these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. And whoever was trying to... Whoever was really did with this. We made progress before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found new clues as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, it's not the only piece of evidence we have. We need to examine everything and make sure there's nothing we missed. There's no time to lose. Oh, hi, answer. Prove that these witnesses have been manipulated. I'll show you the point we reserve. Please wait. Excellency, I had no idea about the end of this. Spread to every Shinto guide. I knew nothing. When does the defense says about all this? Well, Excellency, no time to think. I'm just gonna have to close my eyes and shout out the first thing that comes to my head. I know who. Yes! Well, surely it would be Horikoshi-san! Horikoshi-san? The waiter who took the stand earlier? Poppycock. What's possibly wasting one of the waiter to make these witnesses give testimony? Mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If that is the man's truly well waiter. What? He's truly well. Come on, Inosuke. Time to hit this coat with the truth. Truth was Satoru Yuri-san real identity. Proven by the evidence. Yes! playing a wrestling sketch with the man in question? I agree, it shows a great deal of attention to detail, but I'm not sure if we can include anything. Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's the interest. I beg your pardon? Or perhaps I say, the front? Yes, it's the front of the back of the card. That's where the detailing details is. Just someone please explain what this overexcited student is trying to say. Then sketch the plan of his restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession, his true profession. The way to profession, but that's surely. Good gracious! That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? Wait, the waiter is a police detective? I haven't had any mention this before. Why I haven't heard any mention this before? Imperial Police has immense power, absolute power as far as the regular citizens are concerned. So, witness, they understand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you've seen this foreigner gentlewoman at the scene? Well. Hold it! Inspector Halsanaga. I was worried that something like this might happen. When you asked me to limit my sketch as evidence, I realized it was a possibility. This plan and added to the court records as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once. Of course. Here you are. Hand over this business card. Strive to carry out all investigations flawlessly. This is my guiding principle. Let myself be distracted when I make that sketch. It was an unusual, careless mistake. So, you mean to say, you really are a detective? I'm gonna get this game, but I didn't even beat the game. But Phineas came back after he becomes a bum. So you might like that. That's a pretty cool game. It has both. It switches off between, I think, all three of them. So, it's pretty cool. You might like it. Though you don't really need to beat that to play this. This is, before all that happened. So, nothing of the future leads to the back of this. Play it, but backlog. Yeah, your backlog is long. Why would a detective be working as a restaurant waiter? Of course, your salary must be terrible. I was working undercover. I love how that's the first thing. It's like, why would a police detective be working as a waiter? Yes, your salary is destroyable. It's low. It's like, damn. In series of incidents at the restaurant recently, in order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter working undercover. How long is your backlog, Jackson? Since it's a restaurant, what kind of incidents? It will be classified police information, which I am not limited to divulge. However, I can say clearly that they are unrelated to the case of homicide. Very well then. Inspector Horigasa, but you will elaborate on one point for the court. Of course, Your Excellency. We have just heard new information about two witnesses beside you. At the time of the shooting, there was in fact another person present at the victim's table. That is indeed true. Clearly, you would have also been aware of this person's presence, having subverted the table in question. However, your testimony did not allude to the other side of the diner. Therefore, I only to assume that in your professional capacity as a police officer, you require these witnesses to be in agreement. Would you be correct? This man is definitely dying somehow. This man has lung disease or something. Correct, Your Excellency. Believable. As I suspect. Kitchen to see what had happened. The victim sat slumped in his chair. Beside him, gun in hand, stood the accused student. Sitting opposite the victim at the same table was a young lady, whom I guessed to be an Englishwoman. Truth comes out. I immediately sealed off the restaurant and reported the incident to the bureau. It was then that I received some special orders. Special orders? I mean to say, remove the Englishwoman from the scene at once. It was made clear that the Englishwoman present at the restaurant was to be concealed. Those were my orders. But what if the Englishwoman was the killer? I think it would be in everyone's best interest not to pursue that idea. The feeling terms of its relationship with Britain more highly than anything at the moment. Englishman has been murdered on our soil. To name an Englishwoman as a primary suspect. Well, without irrefutable evidence, that would be completely out of the question. That's the reason for the disappearance of the Phantom Woman in this case. That's not right. Uh-oh. Does spring to mind? What do you mean, customer? You mean university is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain? And I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical factory research lab, is a young English woman. Is a young English woman. What? So I hit the bottom. I was like, "You're a shrewd man. But your choice is candidate for the overseas study tour." You mean, when I moved the woman from the scene of the crime, I thought it would be prudent to check her identity first. The court demands that you name the lady in question at once, Inspector. When still sitting at the university professor's table, all of a sudden, but Jazaret. She's indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of the University Medical Center. What is happening here? In orders from the police bureau, I erase all evidence of the study's presence at the scene. In order that these witnesses to make no mention of her in the testimonies. To decide how to deal with the situation. Very well. My thoughts on the matter are follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been umpired by critical premises. Namely, the victim was dying alone. However, as we now have discovered that this premise is false, it would be discrimination of our justice system to know the truth and give a ruling at this point. But Your Excellency, we missing the noon deadline of a ruling in order to send the telegraph report to Great Britain. Our own government would surely be displeased by this such action. Calm yourself, Consul. I will not allow the government of our country or any other influence the proceeding of my courtroom. Inspector Augusto. Yes, sir. You will locate this Jezebel Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency. But that means we're going against the special orders you were given from the police bureau. As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly. So it won't be a problem. Dude, you're dying. Nothing will get in my way. Except maybe you're deaf. Try and brief. True, we must call the English student Jezebel Brett to the stand. Do I make myself clear? Yes, sir. Your Excellency. Good. Then we will have a 30-minute recess before reconvening. To be continued. It's a good point to stop and take a break. So we'll be right back with part 2 of this trial in like a minute or so, because I'm running low on water. I need to refresh and I need to use the bathroom. So I will scan to my position for now and be back in just a bit. So sit tight back and we'll be back with the second half of this case. Okay, we are back once again. Okay, it was super. My heart was in my mouth the entire time. The next one, almost unbelievable. I mean, look at you in there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, I started facing inconsistencies in the testimonies, finding inconsistencies. Thinking my next term for being a lawyer. Forget it. Say if I get through this, I don't want to see the entire courtroom again. Ha 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 ha. Anyway, it looks like we'll be exposed to your family late at last. This is Ray Wet, a student from Great Britain. Is she? So I've been trying to tell everyone from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. I'm one with him, like I've been saying all along. Yes, you have. You haven't you? I might not be overconfident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are the one thing I'm sure of. Yes, I can see that. So, about this young gentlewoman. Being sure detective friend, she has safely escorted away from the scene, it seems. What happened with that? No, I didn't see anything of it. Took my way out of the restaurant myself, then, on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, noticed there was a gun lying on the floor. And just after that, I bent down and picked it up. I think about where the sound of this gunshot had come from. The waiter went over to me looking as white as sheet. And he bundled me into some sort of pantry next to the kitchen. Thinking by the detective, he apprehended his suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, because I was shut in the pantry. I had no idea what happened outside in the dining room area. Ah, there you are. Well done, all for you. What's the microdot? Well, it seems I was right. Here you make an outstanding team. You exceed my expectation, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Country is still in the infancy. The justice system, even more so. Which is why I believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. To avoid situations that may have resulted in your studies towards Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Loyal or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend at the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What are you saying, customer? So that's your stance. I'm sorry you feel that way. Customer, other than looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in the restaurant. Let's say I'm very want to know the truth. Though all, I have a personal connection to this case. Think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? You don't mind me asking, Professor? Did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John Henshin was a freshman professor at Yumi. It was I who invited him. Oh, I see. Didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identifying and punishing the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget what we're going up against. The gentlewoman whose involvement in our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at the disposal to squash your case. But no doubt that your pair will put up a good fight. Right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Nice. Oh, of course. Kazuma-sama. No. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. Let's go in there and deal with Decipher's blow. For those old fossils know what hit them. Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believe me, then I'm very sure we would have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend, coming from you, that means a lot. In this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream, studying a ball. That's the kind of truth in here. This isn't just my battle anymore. This is the battle against the world. Alright then. I'll save the thank yous for your after trial. Please, Tsukiyomi meals. Treat what you want in the Tsukiyomi meals I like from the Yumi cafeteria on University Street. Lark's portion, of course. We'll resume the trial of Ryunosuke Haruto. Prosecutor Ashi, you may have managed to subpoena the witness. Excellency, against all odds. Thanks to a certain young strapling, the prosecution is on scrutiny from the government. It's I. The government scrutinized. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. How unlikely that the good relations we will forge for Great Britain will emerge on this trial unscathed. So you think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation fondles? Again, terribly sorry. Friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then treaty isn't what the paper's written on. We have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, including over independent opinions, a bold investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Shut up. You jumped up, Wookiee boy. Your friends know nothing the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning myself with the great world powers, we become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Democracy. So political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student. And one who could utterly study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing I feel very strong. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Damn. All set, Ryunosuke. Despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little rats! You counsel. This court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the purpose of truth. That in mind, this trial now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Jesele Brett. Yes. Your Excellency. I wonder how much that hurts. Is that a goose in our head? No, swan. My bad, that's a swan, not a goose. Welcome to Japan. It's just from distant land. Gee, someone bring English tea. In England, no discussion takes place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, did you possibly have trouble to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. My name is Soto Oshoshi. I have been working on the cover as a head waiter at the cover album. But you, yes, we know about it already. So, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today, you said something to me. Your powers of obsession are the ones thing you're sure of. Yes, I think I did, didn't I? Your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, newskeeper. Powers of obsession aside, your powers of description are solely lacking. Guilty. Good dear, lady. Once again, we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Saying is something universally. I don't know. Conclude. Everybody's just like, I'm terribly sorry, dear. What? Jesele Brett. She comes from London, England. Visiting research student, currently enrolled in the University Medical Center. Oh my, what a treat to hear the extra tones of the delightful language of the British people. I don't understand what you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird sound. As far as I can tell. Mr. translating her was faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You find an English customer. Her English doesn't run you at all. Who are you? You clearly been paying attention in our English class right now, Sky. Court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett? Few days ago, at west of the Columbia, a grim murder took place. The courts have been led to believe that you were dying with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? She says, yes. This could take some time. She's studying here in Japan. She can't speak any Japanese. But she's like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says she It was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape.